Alright, thank you for joining me today. We're gonna learn how to sharpen some knives. We're gonna start with this one my grandfather gave me. It's got some lightning and an eagle screeching on it. And it's just a basic blade. And if you look really close, you can see that there's about 40 or 25 to 40 degree angle on there, which is a pretty average angle for a typical blade. And the first sharpening utensil we're going to use is a Handy Sharp handheld sharpener with both a stone and a scissor sharpener. I don't know what these are actually called. I call them a scissor sharpener. Next up, we have this Lanxey's diamond tapered rod here, and this is what is the main selling point on this sharpener, because it has a ceramic and a carbide scissor sharpener. But I mean, like, this one has that too. It has the scissor sharpener, but this diamond tapered rod is what really got me sold on this one, as well as this ceramic serration sharpener right here. That's pretty great. And last, we have a classic. It's been around since there's been blades. It's a whetstone, or a sharpening stone. It's basically just a stone that you rub your blade on and grind away all the imperfections and all that to get a nice sharp edge. Now this particular one is infused with diamond, and it also has two sides. It has a coarse side and a fine side. And what you do is you use the coarse side, both sides of your blade, and then you flip it and do the fine side, obviously. And then after that, what I do is I go maybe one or two more times after I do both sides. I redo it again, just one or two more times, and because it gets that real nice fine edge that I like. And so to use this, you're just gonna put the corner at the same angle, flush to the angle of the blade edge. So since it's like this, I guess angled from the rest of the blade, you just lay it flat and then use just the corner. So hold it at about a 45 degree angle, and then you just gently push. Do that a couple times, and then you do the same thing on the other side. And to finish things off, to fine tune it, you just drag it through this really lightly a couple times. Just barely use the weight of the blade. Razor sharp. Next up, we have this really curved blade of mine. This was given to me by my brother, I believe, a long time ago. And I chose this one because the blade is real curved, and that can be real difficult to sharpen, and so I'm going to show you how to do that right now. For this, I would suggest a whetstone, and normally I use oil with a whetstone, but I couldn't seem to find my gun oil. Gun oil or sharpening oil works excellent with these. And for this, I just kind of trace the edge with my motion. So I'm going to drag it like that. Make sure to hold it at the right angle. Put my finger right here for better control, of course. And then after a couple of those, I start about halfway, and I make sure that I get the rest of the blade. And I'm going to do the same thing coming back. There you go. Alright, next up we have my favorite, my pocket knife that I usually carry around. It's double-edged, so that can also be tricky, but it also has serrations, and that's why I chose to do this one, so I could show you how to sharpen those serrations. I would suggest the Lanxey's diamond tapered rod for the serrations, and for the blade part, I would use the 2-part system with the carbide and the ceramic. We want to trace the blade shape and keep a flush contact with the blade and the sharpener whenever you pull through, otherwise it'll come out real lame. And then to get the serrations here, you just take this rod and then you push and you pull and twist a little bit. Up next we have this regular utility knife. The reason I chose this one is because it has a gut hook right here, and I've encountered a few people who've asked me how to sharpen gut hooks specifically because it is such a unique shape. And for this gut hook, I would also suggest the Linksys because of this rod. It's really the only thing you can sharpen a gut hook with. You just pull it, keeping it at the right angle, and you want to start at the base of the rod and then pull and twist as you pull up. Make sure you twist it both directions. Next we have this lightning bolt shaped knife, which was also given to me by my grandfather, and it's just very odd and unorthodox shaped, so I figured I'd go over it and show you how I sharpen it, and you can apply it to other blades that might have a mysterious shape to them. For this one, I would use the Handy Sharp, believe it or not, because for these 3 separate little blades here, you could just use this V scissor sharpener. And for these, I know they look like serrations, but the way that they're shaped, this would actually fit better in there, so you just kind of And last but not least, we have this big old knife. I chose this one for its size, obviously, because big knives can be difficult to sharpen. But also, the edge on this one needs to be a little bit thicker than the rest of these because it's for like heavy duty work, and it needs to have that thick angle so the weight of the blade can do most of the work for you. I would use a whetstone because it's just way too big. And I would section it off. I usually cut it into half, either 2 parts or 3 if I was getting real technical with it. But I'm just gonna go with 2 for right now. And so you keep it at the right angle, and you go at a diagonal. Slide it across like this. As you go down, and then grip, choke up on it a little bit. Put a finger here for control. And you flip it over to the fine side, the finer things in there. And then you continue. And that's pretty sharp. Let's go test these and see how they do.